everyone, in today's video, we are going to talk about the recent changes regarding the open work permit for accompanying spouses. Hi, my name is Marilyn Quintana. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and director of operations here at eVisa Immigration. In today's video, we are going to talk about the recent changes regarding the open work permit for accompanying spouses, either if you are a student applying for a post-graduation work permit or a worker with a job offer. What are the changes and what that means for you and your family? First of all, what's an open work permit? An open work permit is an authorization that the Government of Canada gives for a person, allowing that person to work in Canada for any employer in any location for any occupation. In general, a spouse of a student or worker may qualify for an open work permit. However, it depends on certain conditions. In this video, we are going to talk about 3 different scenarios. First, if you're a student or planning to study in Canada with your spouse. Secondly, if you're already in Canada with your spouse and soon applying for a post-graduation work permit. And third, if you are a temporary worker in Canada. So starting on January 21st, 2025, the Government of Canada has made significant changes on the eligibility for open work permits of accompanying spouses. If you are planning to come as a student, your spouse will be eligible to apply for an open work permit in 3 different scenarios. First, if you decide to study a master's program, either a professional master's program such as MBA or academic master's, and your program of studies must have at least 16 months of duration. Secondly, if you are planning to study a doctorate degree in Canada, then no problem, your spouse qualifies for an open work permit. And third, if your program of choice is one of the list of qualified programs that will enable you to bring your spouse with an open work permit. There are 11 programs in the list, including Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Nursing, Bachelor of Engineering, among other programs. The complete list is here in the description of this video. Now, if you're already with your family studying in Canada and your family member has an open work permit, you have nothing to worry. Your family member is able to extend their open work permit as long as they are following the same conditions of the previous permit issued. But don't worry, if you are currently in Canada with your family and for any reason your family member requires to extend their open work permit, they are allowed to continue extending the current permit that they have as long as it is still based on the same conditions of your initially issued study permit. If you came to Canada before these changes and your spouse has a valid open work permit, don't worry, their open work permit will continue to be valid until the expiry date with no changes. And for any reason, if they require to extend their open work permit, they are allowed to do so as long as they follow the same criteria of the previous application. Now let's talk about the post-graduation work permit in case you are already in Canada or planning to study in Canada and wanted to make sure that your spouse is able to also qualify for an open work permit. So first, the person that's applying for the post-graduation work permit, when they have a company spouse, they were always required to have a job offer in order to be able to extend the open work permit of their company spouse. This didn't change. However, now, not only you as the student must have a job offer, but also it needs to be in certain occupations. According to the new changes, starting on January 21st, 2024, if you are applying for a post-graduation work permit, in order for you to enable your spouse to also apply for an open work permit, you must have a job offer in an occupation Tier 0, Tier 1, or certain occupations on Tier 2 or Tier 3. Let me explain. Occupations that are classified under Tier 0 are management occupations. So if you're a manager or assistant manager, for example, very likely you are going to be able to allow your spouse to extend the open work permit with your current job offer. If you are a coordinator, most likely we can also fit in the criteria. Tier 1 occupations are usually occupations that require you to have a university degree to perform the work. Some examples include specialist in marketing, accountant, software developer, business consultant, HR specialist, engineer, among others. Now, if you are on a technical level or on a supervisory level, you most likely are under Tier 2 or Tier 3 occupations. And in this case, only certain occupations that belong to the list of in-demand occupations will qualify. The complete list is here below this video, but I'll give you some examples. In general terms, all occupations that are classified under Tier 2 and Tier 3 and are in the field of health, engineering, technology, education, trades are in the list of in-demand occupations and will qualify you to enable your spouse to apply for open work permits. The complete list is down below in the description of this video. There are some occupations classified under Tier 2 and Tier 3 that are very common with new immigrants, but unfortunately they are not in the list. For example, administrative assistants, bakers, cook, or retail supervisors are not in the list that will qualify your spouse to receive an open work permit. In general, the positions that are affected were in business or service industry. If you received an LMIA and if you're applying for an open work permit for your spouse, the same rule applies. Your job offer needs to be in an occupation that's Tier 0 or Tier 1, or if it's Tier 2 or Tier 3, needs to be in this specific list. It is important to mention that people applying for permanent residency or people that are applying under any free trade agreement are exempted from this restriction. We know that these changes may have affected your plan, but we are here to help you. Whether or not to qualify or what are the options for you and your family to qualify to stay in Canada and continue working, talk to our team. We are here to help you. Our contact information is down below this video. As I mentioned above, people that are applying for permanent residency is not affected by this change. This means that it's very important to have a head start and start your application as soon as possible. This can be a tool to prevent your spouse to having to stop working in light of these changes. I hope you liked this video. If so, do not forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and follow us in our social media. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.